Remove vitamin A long enough, and your night vision can fail. Remove another, and collagen starts coming apart. A third slows blood clotting. 13 tiny vitamins, 13 different jobs, and too much can backfire. So what does everyone actually do? First, vitamins are not fuel. They contain no calories for your cells to burn. They are more like keys, tools, and control signals that let the machinery use the fuel. Very tiny tools with extremely dramatic resignation letters. The usual map divides them into fat-soluble A, D, E, and K, and water-soluble C plus the 8 Bs. But fat stays, water disappears is too simple. Your body can store years of water-soluble B12, while too much supplemental B6 can still injure nerves. The labels organize the shelf. They do not explain it. Start with vitamin A. One active form becomes part of rhodopsin, the light-sensitive protein your retina uses in darkness. That is why deficiency can begin with night blindness and, if severe and prolonged, permanently damage the eye. Vitamin A also helps control cell differentiation, growth, and immunity. Animal foods can provide it pre-formed. Colorful plants provide carotenoids the body may convert. A carrot is not a tiny liver wearing an orange costume, but chronic excess of pre-formed vitamin A can damage the liver, and high intake during pregnancy can cause birth defects. Essential does not mean collectible. Vitamin D is the odd one because ultraviolet light can trigger its production in skin. It still needs activation through the liver and kidney. Its clearest job is helping the intestine absorb calcium and maintaining the conditions bones need to mineralize. Without enough, growing bones can deform in rickets. Adult bones can soften in osteomalacia. Toxicity almost always comes from excessive supplements, not sunlight. Calcium can rise enough to damage kidneys and other tissues. The bone vitamin can become a calcium traffic problem. Vitamin E is an antioxidant in cell membranes, helping interrupt damage from reactive molecules. That does not make vitamin E a force field or giant doses an immortality setting. Deficiency is rare and usually tied to serious fat malabsorption or genetic conditions. Severe cases can damage nerves, muscles, and the retina. At the other extreme, high supplemental doses can interfere with clotting and raise bleeding risk, especially around anticoagulant medicines. Which brings us to vitamin K. Vitamin K activates proteins needed for blood clotting and bone metabolism. Severe deficiency slows clotting and can cause bruising or bleeding. With warfarin, vitamin K is not a villain to remove. Sudden intake changes can alter the medicine's effect, so clinical guidance matters. Your clotting system does not enjoy surprise menu updates. Now cross to the water-soluble side with vitamin C. Vitamin C helps enzymes build collagen through skin, blood vessels, and healing wounds. Remove it for long enough, and scurvy can bring bleeding gums, skin bleeds, and poor healing. Sailors did not lose teeth because citrus was motivational. Their connective tissue maintenance was failing. It also acts as an antioxidant and helps absorb plant iron, but it does not reliably prevent the common cold in the general population. Swallowing it after symptoms begin is not a biological eject button. Very high intakes mostly produce gastrointestinal regret. Kidney stone risk is context-dependent, not inevitable. Then come the 8B vitamins. They are sold as one glowing bucket labeled energy, but they contain no energy. Many become coenzymes that let cells process nutrients. Calling them all energy vitamins is like calling every employee in a hospital the electricity department. B1 is thiamine. Its active form helps process carbohydrates and amino acids. Severe deficiency causes beriberi, which can damage nerves, waste muscle, and sometimes affect the heart. Alcohol use disorder can reduce thiamine intake, absorption, and storage, but malabsorption and illness can also cause deficiency. The symptom list is not a home test. Confusion and weakness have approximately the diagnostic precision of something is wrong. B2 is riboflavin. It becomes FMN and FAD, electron carriers used throughout metabolism. Severe deficiency can affect the mouth, skin, and eyes and contribute to anemia. Isolated B2 deficiency is uncommon, so cracked lips are not your body sending a push notification that says, buy riboflavin. B3 is niacin. It becomes NAD and NADP, two of metabolism's busiest molecular carriers. Your body can make some niacin from tryptophan. Severe deficiency causes pellagra, dermatitis, diarrhea, and neurological decline. At pharmacological levels, one form can cause flushing and liver injury. A vitamin can be essential at one scale and a drug at another. Biology reads the dose, not the label font. B5 is pantothenic acid. It builds coenzyme A, a molecular handle used throughout metabolism. Isolated deficiency is extraordinarily rare and usually appears with severe malnutrition or experimental conditions. That makes B5 vital, not excitingly missing from half the internet. B6's active form works in more than 100 enzyme reactions, especially around amino acids, neurotransmitters, and hemoglobin. Deficiency symptoms are varied and nonspecific. And here the water-soluble safety myth collapses. Chronic high supplemental B6 can cause sensory neuropathy, tingling, numbness, and loss of coordination. The supplement sold for healthy nerves can injure nerves when the dose stays too high. That is not irony. That is a warning label writing itself. B7 is biotin. It helps 5 enzymes process fats, glucose, and amino acids. Deficiency is rare, and evidence that extra biotin improves hair or nails without deficiency is weak. But high-dose biotin has a much stranger consequence. It can interfere with laboratory tests. Extra biotin can make thyroid tests and some heart attack troponin tests read falsely high or low. The vitamin may not poison the body. It can confuse the dashboard. B9 is folate. Folate helps build DNA and supports rapid cell division. Deficiency can cause megaloblastic anemia, while adequate folic acid around conception reduces neural tube defect risk. Folate occurs naturally in foods. Folic acid is used in many supplements and fortified foods. Close relatives, not identical name tags. High folic acid intake can correct B12 deficiency anemia while failing to repair neurological damage. The warning light goes off. The engine problem may continue. Which finally brings us to B12. Vitamin B12 supports red blood cell formation, DNA synthesis, and neurological function. Absorbing it from food is a bureaucratic quest. Acid releases it, proteins escort it, and intrinsic factor helps the intestine absorb it. Miss one office in the paperwork, and adequate intake may still not become adequate absorption. So deficiency is not only about diet. Pernicious anemia, digestive disease, surgery, or medication can block the root. Deficiency can cause megaloblastic anemia and neurological changes. Nerve damage can happen without anemia and become irreversible. And B12 breaks the water-soluble shortcut. Body stores can delay symptoms for years. Water-soluble, long-term warehouse. So the 13 vitamins are not 13 brands of the same wellness ingredient. A helps vision. D manages calcium. E protects membranes. K activates clotting proteins. C builds collagen. The B vitamins operate different tools across metabolism, DNA, blood, and nerves. Their deficiency diseases are real, but symptoms overlap. Fatigue, skin changes, or tingling cannot tell a comment section which vitamin somebody lacks. Necessity does not turn supplements into upgrades. More can do nothing, cause harm, or, hello biotin, make the measuring equipment lie. The right model is not vitamins are magic. It is 13 required parts inside a system that cares about amount, absorption, and context. One missing part can matter. So can one unnecessary pile of it. Vitamins are essential. Vitamin marketing just heard the first word. Weird, right?